I'm Belinda Sandor. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. Let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. This is both a tactical and practical weekly training brought to you by the VA Connection. For those of you who are new to the VA Connection, at the VA Connection, we help aspiring and established virtual assistants create, grow, and scale their businesses using the skills they already have. Because I really want you guys to skip the struggle and to be able to lean into the VA lifestyle, right? Of being able to decide where you're going to work, when you're going to work, who you're going to work with, and how much you're going to get paid. So I want you to tell me in the comments, where are you coming in from today? I love to hear where everybody is. Hello, Frederica. She is in Holland. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. So let me know where you're coming in from. I would love to hear. So today we're going to talk about a topic that I really love. We're going to talk about how many clients do you need. And the reason I love this topic is because I think you're going to have some pretty major ahas about this topic. Because I think that most of what we're measuring is not what's going to move the needle for us in our businesses. So we're going to talk about that. Hello, Janet. Hello. Julieth. Hello from Nigeria. Hello, far away. Awesome. All right. And Frederic also in Holland. That's awesome too. You guys, this is great. Okay, so let me introduce myself for a minute, and then we're going to jump into this topic that I think is going to be very eye-opening, and I think it's going to be exciting, and I think you're going to see your business in a completely different way. All right, so let's get started. Okay, cool. All right, so this is me and my little delish, Emily, 11 years ago. She was 9, and I was just starting my business, and it was really one of the lowest points of my life. I was in a big, giant mess, and I had no idea how to get out of it. I was just about to turn 50 years old, and I had, a ton of debt. I was a newly single mom. We had to move 3 times in 4 years, which is massively stressful. And not having a job, I had no idea how I was going to make money. I knew that I didn't want to go back to work in the traditional corporate sense because I wanted to be with Emily. I didn't want to have to be away from her. And the thing that was hard was it was a couple of things. One, the kind of debt I'm talking about is not like, oh, I'll pay it off, the next couple of months. It took years and to get it organized and to get it under control. And I hadn't been able to pay the mortgage for a year, which is stressful. And it wasn't the life I wanted. And there was so much struggle. But the worst part about it was that I let it all get to me, and my confidence was just shattered. It was really shattered. And that was the hard part, to come up from behind and really change. So I knew that getting the job wasn't going to be the answer. I had been an admin back in the dark ages when we were called secretaries. And I thought, I like that work. It's always been my favorite part of any job that I've had. So let's do that. So I had no idea about being a virtual assistant. I'm not even sure that was invented yet. But I decided to do admin work. And I started telling everybody I knew. I started telling them, I could help them in their offices, that I used to be a secretary. I was an office manager. And one morning I was at the school bus stop, of all places, and one of the dads said to me, what's new? And I said, well, a lot's going on, and I decided to start my own business. I'm going to be helping people do admin work. And his face lit up like boom, because we knew each other. He trusted me. He'd seen me at the bus stop for years, and he had just started a business, and I had no idea. And he just said, can we talk? I really need your help. Can you do this, this, and this? And I said, you bet. And it was really everyday kinds of things, like installing software, watching his email. I knew how to set QuickBooks up, so I did that for him. I paid his bills online. Very straightforward things. And so my confidence started to build up. I could see how I was helping him. And then I just kept spreading the word. And I then went to a wedding, And I met someone in the reception line, and I didn't have a business card. I didn't have a website. I didn't have a business name, but I told him and he was with his wife what I was up to, and he gave me his card. And I thought, okay, I'm going to connect with him on LinkedIn, which to me felt so uncomfortable because I am so introverted and don't like to bother people or reach out or shine the light on myself that, but I did it anyway. I don't know what caused me to do it, but I just remember pushing connect and thinking a million things. None of them were that he was going to be so happy to hear from me. But again, like I said, I did it anyway. And I think that was at the core of my success, was that when I had an idea and I just had a feeling I should do it, I did it even if I wasn't comfortable. And so what I want you to take away from that is that for all of you who are prospecting and looking for ideal clients and all of that, I never would have found these guys. And I don't know if my business would have taken off. So stop prospecting and just start telling everybody that you know about your business. All right. Just tell everyone. All right, great. So here we've got, this is Meredith from Gulf Breeze, Florida. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Keep telling me. I can see all you guys are pouring in. So tell me where you're coming in from. Okay. Now, we're going to look at where I am today. All right. So I just kept telling people doing good work. You know, there's more to it, but at the core, that was it. And I've been in business for 11 years. I've worked with over 225 clients, and I've made over $1 million. The first year I was in business, I made $70,000. And every year after that, being a virtual assistant, I made $100,000 or more, which it's there for you. It's absolutely there for you too. So let's fast forward. This is also what it looks like today. So this is my husband, Greg. We got married last summer. And these are our kids, Emily, Greg's 4 boys, on our wedding day. And life is different now. You know, life is different now because I leaned into taking care of myself, you know, being self-sufficient, self-reliant, and my finances are handled. No more minimum payments, no more struggle. You know, I have a thriving business, and I was there for Emily as she grew up. And the result is that we have a great relationship. And that's really what I wanted. I wanted that. And I wanted our life to be built around, you know, the simple things that I could participate in, like being a Girl Scout leader or being at the school bus stop. So who's ready for that? Let me know in the comments. Who is ready for that? Okay. How many clients do I need? How many clients do I need? Tell me in the chat. I want you guys to participate. How many clients do you think you need in the chat? Okay, Elise is ready. Good. But how many, you know, and we're going to blow this up a little bit, just, you know, so you know, but if you have a number, let me know what that is. I'd be curious to see what your thought process is around there. Okay. All right. Frederic says, who isn't ready? Who isn't ready? That's awesome. All right. Good. Good. Okay. So I hear from VAs all the time. They just need 1 or 2 more clients and then they'll be all set. And I've often wondered about that because it seems like, oh, here you guys are coming in. Good. As many as it takes to keep me busy and give me the money I need. You get an A. Yes. Yay. Excellent. Okay, good. I see you guys are coming in from LinkedIn too. That's fabulous. All right. We're on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and all over Facebook right now. So thanks for coming. All right. So I've often wondered about that magical, mythical number because none of my clients need me the same amount of time consistently. You know, so one might need me 10 hours a week, and then his business changes, you know, and then he needs me, you know, 20 hours or he needs me 2. And so my business is really built on having a lot of different clients with lots of different needs, so that if one of them goes away, the whole thing doesn't fall apart, right? The whole thing doesn't fall apart. Because what happens is a client will get a big project themselves. They'll be hired, right, by their client. A bunch of work comes in. They need my help. We finish that. And then they don't need me for a while, you know? And so we're going to talk about the different kinds of clients. We're going to look at my client breakdown, and I'm going to show you where the different revenue stream comes. And we're going to really look at this. Okay. So Elise says 4 clients, Lana 8 to 12 consistent clients. Okay. And hello from Kenya. And she wants all of the Facebook. It says Facebook user wants all of those flashing clients. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So let's dive into this deeper. Okay. The first thing I want to talk about, and I want you to ask yourself this, and I want you to type it into the chat. How are you measuring your success? How are you measuring your success? Like, how do you know when you reach your business goals? And here's the question: are you measuring your business goals at all? Do you have business goals? Yes, Frederic says it totally depends on the hours clients need help. Sometimes two kinds of full-time clients are great. Other times you need more with fewer hours. Yes, it's very flexible. But think about, how are you measuring your success? Like, how do you, a lot of you, I think, might be measuring it in number of clients, but there are other ways to do that too, right? So another way would be revenue. And revenue is the amount of money you're bringing in, right? So all of the hours that people are paying you for, all of the hours people are paying you for. Now, the other thing you could do is you could be looking at billable hours. You could look at the overall number, or you could say, all right, I know to reach my goal, I need to bill this many hours a week. And that's how you're measuring your success. And then the last one, which we're going to talk about, is number of clients. And as you can see, for me, and I think for you, revenue and billable hours is more meaningful than the number of clients because it's measurable. And in order to be successful in business, you need to measure your success. You need to measure it so that you can celebrate it. And you also need to make what I call mid-course corrections. I had a business coach once, years and years ago, and she told me that there's a term, a sailing term called trim tabbing or something like that. And it's just like this little tiny rudder that, moves a little bit, but it can change the whole course of where the sailboat is heading. And so it's important to do that as you go along. You set a strategy, set a goal, look and see what's happening, and then, make a little adjustment as you need to. Okay, good. All right, so here's how we can make these numbers of billable hours and revenue even more meaningful. Okay, we need to do some math. Now, many of you likely have not done the math. We naturally don't want to do the math, right? And so, but we need to do the math. So let me explain what I mean by this. Okay, so let's look at this simple equation. All right, it's hours multiplied by your rate equals the revenue or the money you make, right? So hours, billable hours multiplied by the rate you charge your clients equals, the money you make, also known as revenue. So my question to you is, how many of you know the answer to this simple math equation for your business? I want to know that in the chat as well. Tell me how many of you know the answer of this equation for your business. And one of the reasons that I make this so clear is that I talk to VAs all the time, in VA school, and they'll say, I'm working all the time, I'm not making any money, what's the deal? And usually what I'll do is I'll ask them if they've done this math, and mostly they haven't. So they don't know how many hours they're billing. Their hourly rate fluctuates like crazy, and there's no way to make a projection of the money that they're going to make. Right? Now, I know a lot of you are either in my course, VA school, or you've heard of it, but we have a calculator in VA school so that you can play with the numbers, the hours, the billable rate, and the revenue, and figure out how much, how does this work for you? If you want to work, 3 hours a week or 10 hours a week, what does your rate need to be? How many weeks do you need to work a year? And it's been very eye-opening for people to see that, because when you look at the math, it's not clear cut. It's really not clear cut. So it's important that you do this. And that revenue calculator, it's available in VA school, absolutely, but it's also in my template bank. So if you've seen that, that's available at thevaconnection.com. And then you just click on I think it's programs, and then you can see the template bank there. And that calculator is in there with 13 other templates that I use in my business every day. All right, so I can't overemphasize how critical it is that not only you know your numbers, but you're also tracking them. Okay. All right. Now I want to talk about the dangers of having too few clients, because it happens sometimes that when you only have one or two clients and their business changes or slows down, likely that's going to happen for your work with them as well. And that puts you in a precarious kind of situation, right? Where you're not really sure. You're not really sure if you're going to have work next week or the week after. And here's the thing. Clients don't always know. They could be taken off a big project with their client and now they don't need all that work. Or, for example, when COVID hit, one of my clients had me scheduling him in-person meetings for a year, like 10 hours a week. It was very, time consuming, and it was a great flow of revenue. The second that COVID hit, boom, boom. And it doesn't take something like COVID to make this shift. It's happened where people sell their businesses, they retire, they move on, and I don't see it coming. I definitely don't see it coming. So that's another reason why I'm a really big fan of having a lot of clients. Okay. So think about that. Think about it because I don't want you to live in scarcity of, oh no, the gig could be up, but really because I want you to protect yourself. I want you to think ahead about how to make sure that you have that steady flow of income in your business. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the different kinds of clients that are out there. And I'm going to show you how you can manage all of them at once. Okay. So here are the different kinds of clients. So the first one is project-based. All right. So that could be updating their books, building a website, setting up QuickBooks. It could be creating a logo for them. It's work with a beginning, middle, and an end. Beginning, middle, and an end. And so I consider that project work. All right. Then there's recurring work. That's work that happens, week after week, month after month, that when it's coming and you can plan around it. So work like monthly newsletters for clients, or a weekly team meeting, or reports that you manage every Wednesday, right? So I think you're probably getting the drift. So things that are your responsibility to manage, or the client provides you with over and over and over. And while nothing is certain, you feel like unless something changes, you can count on it. Now, the last type of work that category, I call it flyby. Flyby is like here and there, I don't know when it's coming. They generally don't need more than an hour. And that makes them easy to manage, because I can just, fit them into the cracks in my schedule and generally get the work done for them. Okay. So let me know, for you, does most of your work fall into these three categories? I'd like to hear how that lands for you. So project-based, recurring, and flyby. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you this. Okay, now this is going to be hard to see, so I'm going to make myself smaller. I'm going to explain what this is. Okay. You still can't see it. Okay. All right. So I want you to look at how my clients break down. Okay. This is a spreadsheet of my clients last year, and I've categorized them for you. And I did this because people kept saying to me, how do you manage 37 clients? How do you manage 50 clients? And I thought, how do I do that? Like, how do I do that? So I took out my spreadsheet with all my clients on it, and I thought, all right, let me just see like how much I'm doing for each one. Okay. Because it seems like 37 clients could kill you, right? But not at all. Not at all, because I have a mix of clients. All right. So I have between 35 and 37 hours of reliable billable work per week, which is my target amount. When I bill 35 to 37 hours a week consistently, I meet my revenue goals. Okay. All right. So let's look at this more closely. Okay. So I have 11 of those 30,000. I'm sorry, 11 of those 37 clients they renew every couple of months. Okay, it's the bulk of my revenue. So they might buy 3 debit cards a month. They might buy one every 3 months. They might buy one every 2 months. But when you add those 11 people up, that equals about $80,000. Okay, so that's about $80,000. Now, when you can really see it by the color, I think, better. Okay, so then if I lose one or two of those 11, no problem. Like I can replace them, and in fact, I typically add between 1 and 3 new clients every single month by, doing my sprinkling that I talk about. And you can actually learn about that coming up. We're going to have another VA client Kickstart Challenge starting on June 6th. They'll put that on your calendar. But that's how I bring in 1 to 3 new clients, every month. So I can, people come, people go. And you want to make sure you're protecting yourself about that. Okay. So now let's look at the rest of the client mix. Okay. So this color here, the darker orange, those are the continuous. All right. Now let's look at the 9 who let's look at the 9 that are project-based. Okay. So the 9 project-based probably only buy 1 debit card for 10 hours a year. And, in the beginning, I thought, all right, so is that the kind of work I wanted? Well, it absolutely is. I enjoy it and I like the people. And I really underestimated what the value of these other 2 categories of clients was worth, because I was just looking at, the people who are over and over and over. Well, it turns out that these 9 project-based clients are worth about $8,100 a year, which, that's significant. I think, that's not revenue that I would want to walk away from. All right. So now look at the 17 from time to time. Again, I would think not that much money. So I was fascinated when I started to color code them and look at them. All right. So the 17 from time to time, let's say they buy a debit card for 10 hours once a year. Okay. That actually, believe it or not, equals $15,300. And those are the people that are filling in the gaps, so that's why I think looking for, air quotes, steady work is it's interesting to look at that and tie it to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 clients, because it just hasn't been the case with me over the 11 years I've been in business that it always works out, like a jigsaw puzzle every time. So I think it's really important to have all these different kinds of people in your portfolio, to really balance everything out. Now, those 2 categories together equal about $24,000, which was really surprising to me. It was really surprising. And that's why doing the math and tracking things and looking at it, really important, really important. So let's recap what's happening on this slide. Okay. So 75% of my work comes from the 11 recurring clients, but about 25% or, $25,000 comes from these project-based, from time to time flybys, which I just found shocking. So tell me what you guys think about that. Are you surprised by that? What do you think? What do you think about that? Excellent. So Heather says, I love the diversity in supporting revenue goals. Yeah. Yeah. And it really, it helps clients too, because, well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. All right. So let's keep going. Numbers don't lie. That's right, Lynn. They don't. And you know what? I used to not, when I got into my big financial mess, that's because I stopped looking at the numbers, and it's because they scared me. And what I've realized finally is that there's a lot of power in numbers. There's a lot of power in knowing, because then you can make a plan. When you don't make a plan, we do this, which is we make up a lot of stories. All right. So I want to talk about that because that definitely can get in the way. So when we get clients, we get ourselves in trouble when we start to tell ourselves stories about them. Okay. So what happens if they don't need us all the time? Does that mean that I didn't do a good job? Does that mean I'm not valuable? Does that mean I should close my business? And then we worry on the flip side, what if they need me too much? Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And we also worry that we're not going to be able to handle so many clients. Like, how am I going to juggle all that? But with the right systems and processes and those that I teach at VA school, you can absolutely do that. You can absolutely do that. The highest amount of clients I've ever managed successfully, I've never been unsuccessfully managed them, but that I've managed at one time is what I meant to say, is 53. And it was fun. I was doing a lot of cool stuff and I was busy and the money was pouring in and, it was awesome. It was really awesome. So Lynn says, really shows where you're actually making your money. I never would have guessed this. And I got to tell you, I only figured this out a couple of years ago when one of my students was like, well, how do you do that? And I thought, I don't know, let me figure it out. It's good to have a mix of different types of work and clients. Yes. And Rashonda says, I think it's great. You aren't turning anyone away. You're catering to each category efficiently. Yes. And Lynn says, totally. Yeah. These are my VA schoolers here, all coming in. Yeah. And there's going to be some more surprises here. So, all right. So here's the thing about this. So to do this successfully, there's a few things you need to do. You need to manage expectations, okay? And you're going to need to manage priorities and you're going to need to manage deadlines, all right? And how that works is a client says, I need you to do on Monday. They say, can you do my newsletter on Thursday? I've got 3 days to figure that out. It's very, very, very rare that a client will come in and say to me, I need you to do this right now. I think in the last 5 years that's happened once and I couldn't do it. And I said, I'm already booked for today. If you can wait until 5 o'clock tonight, I can do it. And she said, I'll do it myself. Okay. I'm not sitting outside of her door. Right. And she was a flyby. She's a flyby where she comes here and there and just flies in, and I can't always do the work. Now I'd say 99% of the time I can, and I can figure it out. But you do have to manage expectations. You do need to manage priorities. You do need some way to track the flow of your work so that you don't miss deadlines and you can fit everything in. Okay. So you're going to get to be a master at prioritizing, master at managing your time and managing your clients when you have a lot of clients. All right. So this has been the attitude that I've tried to keep in my business for years. And there are times when I am scared and I am overwhelmed and I don't know what I'm going to do. And what I do is I get some fresh air and I throw my shoulders back and I say, bring it on. Like, bring it on, because I can handle it. I am strong. I am a businesswoman. I can figure this out. So it's like, bring on the work, bring on the clients. Like, let that be my problem, right? Let that be my problem, that I have too much work and I'm making too much money, right? Now, there is, because you can solve for that, right? Bring your friends in, figure it out, work a couple extra hours, work on Saturday morning, if it'll get you to your goals, then you can take the next Wednesday afternoon off. It's a continuous thing when it's your own business. It doesn't have to be 9 to 5. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you're managing the expectations and the deadlines and, all of those things. So let me tell you about, a strategy that I've used quite a few times. A new client will come and I have so much work, I can't even think about it. But I don't want to shut it down. I want to bring it on. Now, if they came to me and said, I need 10 hours a week, I had a VA doing it for 10 hours a week, and I don't have 10 hours in a week, I will say, I'm not the girl for you. And I will help them find someone if I can. And these days I can, right? But what I have said, and people have waited, I've said to them, I will be available to bring on a new client in 2 weeks. If you prepay for my time now, you will get that slot and we can get started, and I give them a date. Everybody who I've ever said that to has done it. I had one guy last year who wanted to start with me in the last week of December, and I wasn't available, and we were having the Kickstart Challenge in January. That was not a good time to bring on a new client, right? Because I'm just managing what I have. So I said to him, I think we're a good fit. I really like you. I would like to work with you. Can we start on January? I didn't say can. I said, I can start working with you on January 24th. He said, okay. Okay. Right? So you can do that. I have done that so many times when I know I just can't manage a new client, because new clients, there's a lot that you have to figure out with them. You need to get their communication style down. You need to onboard them. You need to try to understand their work, get their passwords. It's not like a newsletter that you've done 7,000 times for the same client that you could now do asleep. It's not like that. You need more attention and more focus with the new clients. Okay. So try to have an attitude of bring it on, and have the problem be that you have too much work and too many clients. All right. And I'll help you solve that if that gets to be your problem. All right. Just let me know. All right. So I want to talk about the psychologicalness of this, if that's a thing, of why this works. Okay. So it takes the pressure off the client. The way that it takes the pressure off the client is they don't need to worry if you have enough work so that you can eat. Right? In a job situation, they've got to keep you busy, but as a virtual assistant, they don't have to worry about it. And I've been very clear with my clients, if they say, we're going to work on this project and then something changes, I say to them, no problem. I have plenty to do. No problem. Like there's never a time when I would put any pressure on them, asking them for more work. I might say if they look overwhelmed, is there anything else I can help you with? But it's really from a place of service, not trying to make them feel like they have to give me more. So it takes the pressure off the client, and they love that. It also takes the pressure off of you, because you're not relying on one or two people to make sure you have enough work to do what you need to do financially, right? So it really takes the pressure off of you, and it creates a more steady stream of revenue. My revenue really, there's a range, but I can live in the range. There are some months I've literally had, $25,000 months, like at the end of the year when people are buying time for the next year. And I've definitely had, $3,000 or $4,000 months. But for the most part, it's pretty even, and it comes in steadily with that steady stream of clients, because right there, if you bring on 3 clients a month, that's 30 hours. So in my world, that's, several $1,000s, or almost $3,000, right? So that's it right there, just from bringing those new clients on. So it does create a more steady stream of revenue, because you're doing work for all these different people, and their time will run out at different times. And so you just keep, reloading that time. The other thing is, I think it gives you more freedom and less stress, because you have the ability to fire a client if it's not working out. You can think less emotionally about your work, because if you've got 37 clients or 12 or 15, and one of them is making you crazy, you can peel them off, right? And it's not going to take you down. The other thing is, this is a great strategy for raising your rates. After you have a handful of clients at one rate, raise your rate, and the new clients will come in. So all of a sudden you're already making, more money for the same types of work. And there's a whole strategy for raising your pricing, but that's at the core of how I did that, all the time. So let me know in the chat, how is this landing for you? What were your ahas? Were you surprised about me talking about revenue instead of giving you you need 7 clients? Were you surprised about that? And a lot of you are in VA school, so you're probably not surprised. Before we go, I want to tell you about my upcoming 5-day free training on how to get a steady stream of clients in your business. I'm going to teach you exactly what I have done in my business, Rocket Girl Solutions, for the last 11 years to bring in those 1 to 3 clients every month. Now, we're going to get started on June 6th, and I'm really excited about it. And to get more information and to sign up, go to vachallenge.info. You can sign up right there. We have a pop-up Facebook group. It's a lot of fun. And Lynn says, join the challenge. It's super helpful. I think it is super helpful. I get a lot of great feedback, and I love doing it. So absolutely join me. The approach is like a biodiverse garden, sustainable and organic. I love that, Heather. It's true. That's exactly what it's like. Yeah, a biodiverse garden, right? So something for this, something for that, and it all works together. Yeah, that's awesome. The challenge was a game changer. I'm really glad. Elise says, I like how you break it down between the types of work. Great way to keep track of this. Thanks. And those people have changed. There were flyby people on that list who were like huge clients, but they've moved on, they've retired. I did everything already. They don't need anything else, or they figured out how to do the work themselves now, which is totally fine. And that's the other thing, I've had a client come to me very sheepishly because he was giving me a lot of work and say, we're making a change and we're bringing on a marketing company and they want to do the part that I need them to do, but they also want to do what you're doing. And I could tell he felt really bad. And I just sort of, put my hand up and I said, it's okay. I have plenty of work. I loved working with you. This was really fun. Thank you very much. But I'm okay. You don't need to worry about me. And do you know how relieved he was? He was like, really? That's great. And to be able to have the ability to say that and to mean it. And it's a place of coming from being generous, right? You don't need to worry about me. I'm self-sufficient. But I loved it. And thank you for, contributing to my business. And I loved contributing to yours, and keep in touch. I'm here if you need me again. Love that. Love that. All right, you guys, it's time to wrap this up. Actually, we're over time. Sorry about this, but I love this topic. So thank you for coming. We are live here on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and LinkedIn every Friday at noon. Lessons from the Cockpit. I hope you'll put it on your schedule and join me every week. Until next time, I'm Belinda Sandor, signing off. Bye-bye.